What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the episode number 5 today of our Hamburg career mode. And in this one, we've got new additions to the team because we're in the January transfer window. Some more games for you to watch in the Bundesliga and also some surprising games as well in there. You'll see a couple of really interesting games, put it that way, or I could call them interesting, after playing them when really, in reality, they were very frustrating. But the first game we take on Freiburg for a team with the lowest amount of goals scored in the division against a team with the lowest amount conceded. So, by all accounts, as long as we can put the ball in the back of net today, we should be able to get the win, because they don't seem to score many goals. But as we know, that won't be the case. But we are kind of the team in the division that have conceded the least, but yet to really find our full attacking flow. It's shown there with a Bobby Wood chance that, in reality, we should be scoring those every single day of the week. The fact that we're missing those type of finishes is just not good enough. As Kostic again fires one into Big Andy for him to send a goal effort, goal bound, but the keeper stood tall to it. And I said it in the last episode. If Andy Carroll hits 30 league goals this season, I will buy an England shirt of Andy Carroll on the back. It's not going to happen. Don't worry, guys. You won't be seeing me with an England shirt with Andy Carroll's name on the back. But somebody who is in the goals at the moment is Lewis HOLTBY, as he got us off into the opening goal of this one as well. He has been brilliant for us in this first half of the season. Definitely been our best player. He's caused no ends of problems for opponents, and he's dominated games in the midfield alongside Lucas Torreira, who in many ways, these two have put up a centre midfielder partnership to dream of. Both of them have been sensational, but HOLTBY has given us the goal-scoring exploits that we have required in order to find goals in games where we've been less than brilliant. That one did take a deflection, but the intent was there from HOLTBY. I did mean for it to go across the keeper towards that bottom corner. It's just that the deflection helped it on its way. And Hamburg took the lead through captain fantastic Lewis HOLTBY. But as always, when we score a goal, we normally then don't play very well to keep hold of the lead. Freiburg shot, our goalkeeper forced into a save. So, as I said, it's a bit of a problem. As soon as we score, we get a little bit cocky at the back and think that we're okay, and that then causes our opponents to have chances. But in this game, the 1-0 was enough. So my, I guess theory right at the start of the episode when I said about the fact that they'd scored the least, we conceded the least, worked out. As long as we put the ball in the net, I felt we could defend and get the 1-0 win. So we're going to see that quite a few times, I think, in this first season. 1-0 wins where we scraped through and got the result when we needed to. But even surprisingly enough, as we are approaching Game 2 here at the Volkspark Stadion up against Wolfsburg, we find ourselves in the top 4 at the moment, which, again, it's kind of strange because I think back to when we started off the Celta Vigo series, and I said to you guys that I was looking to just build on it. Well, I didn't expect us to be in the top 4, but then you've got to look at the teams around us. Bayern Munich are not even in the top 4, so they're definitely having a weaker season than they should be. Mönchengladbach, not in the top 4. It's kind of strange. Bremen are in there. We're in there. These are teams that you wouldn't necessarily associate with Champions League football, and it's kind of strange to think about that. So as we took on Wolfsburg for the second game, looking to bounce on and get another victory, they started off the miles better side, I'm not even going to lie, and they should have been home and dry in the first half. 2 very big chances. The first one put wide, the second one was a quite brilliant save from my goalkeeper, kept us in the game at 0-0, but as I said, Wolfsburg could have been home and dry after that, and into the second half, we finally got our first chance. Kostic on the left, worked it really well in towards the feet of Lewis HOLTBY, and this time on the right foot, his shot was well saved by the goalkeeper. As I said, he looks the most likely out of our, attacking threat to grab the goals. I wouldn't even say our strikers are the most likely. It is pretty much Lewis HOLTBY. But one striker who has performed really well for us so far is this young man. Standing at only 17 years of age, Arp has just done it again. I've got to give credit, though, where it's due. Bobby Wood, great run down the left-hand side. Lovely little step over, gets past his man, cuts it into the middle, and a nice little cut back towards Feet Arp, who puts the ball in the net. But as I mentioned, he is quite possibly our best striker at the club at only 17 years of age, which is pretty mad to say. I think HOLTBY is still the best player, as again, another big chance for Wolfsburg to put the ball in the net. And again, it's another 1-0 win. But in this one, I had to count my blessings because honestly, I didn't feel like we deserved that 1-0 win. We were very, very poor from the offset. Wolfsburg were definitely the more dangerous of the two sides and could have, on another day, taken this 3-0 up. But, you have to take it as it comes. And the fact that we were able to get the 1 goal that we required and then find the finish as well and get the win, we have to take it in our stride. So it's a good win to get. 6 points from 6 now as we are approaching the final game before the January transfer window does in fact open. And we take on Mönchengladbach, who had just squeezed into the top 4 after this game had just begun. So they are now technically a top 4 side. But, start of the season, we'd have been looking at this game saying we'd quite happily take a draw here and be on our way. But given the circumstances and the way we've played, I don't see any reason why we can't push on and try and win this game. Mönchengladbach side, you saw it there. Our side, of course, Arp starts alongside Big Andy. But, you know, where the defensive frailties lied against Wolfsburg and we got away with it, you can't play the same way against a team like Mönchengladbach and expect to have the same outcome. And inside the first few minutes of the game, 20 minutes, they'd found the opener. Dermich, who I'd looked at actually potentially bringing over to Hamburg, put them 1-0 in front after a really nice passing move. And things got worse. I didn't learn my lesson. Dermich again. He's involved in pretty much everything that they had going forward. Lovely little 1-2. Gets it through again to Traore. He squares it across. And Lars Stindl was the man to put the ball in for 2-0 to Mönchengladbach. And from this point forward, it was an uphill struggle. As you guys know, we went 2-0 down in the last episode, but we were able to bring that one back. This time, Arp again on the front of things, finding Kostic. He gets in the box. And when you need a goal to go in, of course, you just don't get the luck you require. Coming back off the post, the rebound from Halilovic was weak. Straight at the defender. And it pretty much summed up how the game was going for us as he then burst in towards the box. Easy pass to make and couldn't even find a blue shirt. So, yeah, that pretty much summed up our game. And to make matters worse, with 3 minutes left on the clock, I was an all-out attack at this stage. I felt like Ekdal won the ball there. I ain't going to lie to you guys. I thought that was a perfectly clean, perfectly fine tackle. Referee says otherwise, gives Mönchengladbach the penalty. I can have many complaints about that. Ekdal really didn't, but personally speaking, I see nothing wrong with that tackle. You can see it there. You clearly see his foot win the ball. So, to give the penalty there, I'm not sure what the referee's seen, but he's decided it's a penalty kick. Lars Stindl steps up, sends us the wrong way, and Mönchengladbach have the 3-0 lead. So, although we were managing to come back from a 2-0 down, lead in the last episode, where we brought it back to 2-2 against Hoffenheim, unfortunately, guys, we were not able to do it again here against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And, yeah, that's our first heavy defeat of the season. I'm sure it won't be the last, but it's just the way we played in that game. We never really got going, never really found the full swing of things, and didn't really create anything to worry our opponents. And as I said, when we got into the game against Wolfsburg, we saw where the problems lied. They were creating chances. We got away with it too many times. You can't do it over and over again because you're likely to have it happen again, and you will actually play worse on that occasion. And that's what happened. So, in many ways, it's a learning curve. We'll just have to bounce back in the right way. Gideon Jung looks like he's going to be leaving the club. The 23-year-old had an offer come in. I can't remember who it was from, but I ended up going and encountering them, and eventually we agreed on a fee of around about 5.5 million, I think it was. So he looks like he's going to leave the club. We'll get an extra few £1 million in for him. But the board are so stingy, because when this deal went through, we actually didn't get £5 million in the budget. I was a little bit disappointed in the board when you actually see how much they give us from this transfer. Next up was Frankfurt. For the first time in the series, I decided to sim a Bundesliga game. Shouldn't have done it because they got a red card inside 4 minutes. I felt confident, felt like we were going to go on to win it. But then we ended up drawing 1-1 after Lucas Torreira pulled us back after we ended up going 1-0 down, actually, in the game. So there is confirmation. Jung had, in fact, been sold, but the board took 1.3 million of that 5.5 million transfer and kept it for themselves, which was frustrating beyond belief. I've seen this guy suggested by you guys in the past as well, and he actually goes by the name of Alphonso Davies. He's currently playing his trade in the MLS. He's actually a Canadian player as well. Is it Davies or Davis? I don't actually know, so you'll have to let me know in the comment section. But I made an offer with his side to try and bring him over. I think it was Vancouver is it he plays for £3 million. They instantly rejected it and brushed it off like it was a horrendous offer. So I'm wondering how good he actually is, because I couldn't scout him at the time. But he does have a release clause of around about £8 million on his contract. So I was quite happy to activate that on the next time it goes around. And as I said, you guys have suggested him in the past. In real life, there's talk of him joining Bayern Munich as well. So looks like he's going to be playing in the Bundesliga next season in real life. So it wouldn't be a bad situation, a bad shout for us to actually bring him over as well. As we move into the final game, already seeing a couple of chances against Augsburg. Feet Arp's delivery in towards the box, met by Lewis Holtby. Who else would it have been in order to put us in front in the game? There is really nobody else I look to for goals in this side at the moment. And again, captain, fantastic. I really dislike this camera angle. I've said it numerous times, but I'll say it again. It just defeats the purpose. It stops the entire game dead. And then when you finally get to a good little, angle, it swaps it back. But got to give the credit to Arp. What a delivery it was in towards the box again. And there was Lewis Holtby. So we took the lead, and we were on top throughout the entirety of this game, battering Augsburg, and really should have been 2-0 up when Kostic's header went over the top of the crossbar. It was a good delivery from Sakai, actually, from the right-hand side. But he's got to do better with his header there. He has to keep it down, get it on target, put the ball in the net, and we would have been 2-0 up. And it actually came back to bite us a little bit because Laxalt gets through. Again, Went to ground in the box, and this time I can't really complain because it is a penalty. But you'll see from the other angle in a moment, I don't actually know where the contact was, because as much as I go to ground and don't win the ball, I wouldn't have said there's that much contact. Laxalt does the turn, and there it is. Like, it's the elbow, I guess, that's up, and that's the reason why it's been given. But is that enough for the man to go down? I'm not so sure. From the spot, really undeserved. And to make matters worse, at this point, I lost my cool. I was getting so angry because I dive the right way. The keeper goes the right way, and the ball goes underneath him. Like, I know this happens in real life, but it's just the way it does it in this game, that you just feel like you've been buttering aside, you deserve and you take the lead, you give away a sloppy penalty, your keeper guesses right and decides, nah, man, I ain't going to save it, I'll just let it go underneath my body and it'll go in the back of the net. But we weren't on level terms for too long, because Andy Carroll would score his second Bundesliga goal of the season after, I think it was HOLTBY again involved in this one, playing him through. And on the right foot, Andy Carroll was able to find the bottom corner. So justice was done, or so you thought, with us taking the lead to make it 2-1 until this happened. Yeah, we couldn't hold on. Just 11 minutes to go. Really nice move again. There's so much wrong with this goal. Like, firstly, it's a great move, I'm not going to deny that, but watch this, right? You can rewind it back all you want, and you can understand why I'm frustrated. Joe Bryan, the man that's sliding in there on your screen, I wasn't in control of that player when he slid in. That was the game taking over for me and doing that, and that is the problem that lies with FIFA. I've seen so many comments about people saying, do you think it can be a competitive game? And whatever the game, you know, relies on the computer to do stuff, no, it can't. Because at the end of the day, Joe Bryan there, he slides in, he misses the ball, that leaves the space for the striker to take the shot on and make it 2-2, and we draw the game 2-2. Now, if I was controlling the player, and I would have done it, I'd have been like, hold my hands up, there you go, can't do anything about it, you know? I've got to admit, it is what it is, I made the mistake, we move on. But I wasn't controlling the player. The game took over and decided to slide in, so yeah, I was very frustrated, especially given the circumstances, the way the penalty went in, everything kind of built up, and I was just a bit angry the way the game ended. So I decided that I'd make the transfer of Alphonso Davies happen, and then I would leave the episode there. So that's all that's left to come for today, guys. We did activate the release clause in his contract, which stood at about £8.6 million. We offer him a contract. He's going to be on about £30,000 a week at 17 years of age here. But he's got a lot of pace. He's 4-star with a weak foot and skill moves. He's been suggested by you guys previously on other series, and I think on this one as well. And I thought to myself, we need a little bit of pace. We need an injection of pace down the wings, up front potentially, to just get us in behind and try and put the ball in the back of the net. That's the way I looked at this. Just bring the pace will work. That's the way I kind of felt when I made this signing happen. So there he is in the lineup, guys. 92 acceleration, 93 sprint speed, dribbling's good, 4-star, as I said. High attacking work rate. He's 5'11". I might even try and train him to play up front instead in this formation as well, because I think he's got the height, he's got the ability, he's got the pace, he's got the skill moves and attributes that I look for. Maybe quite a good striker as well if we train him up to be that. But nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Before we do in fact go, I did post this on my channel previously, but I am away on Sunday today. Sunday, not today, but yeah, I'm away for a coaching course. I begin it this weekend, so there's no video on Sunday, but I'm actually gone from Saturday onwards, so make that note as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for all of your support on the channel as well. That's how the league table currently looks. It's all looking decent enough, and we can challenge as well, try and keep in this position if we can, and hopefully build on this next season as well. But if you've got any more suggestions or anything, leave them down below, and until next time, guys, enjoy the episodes. I'll see you all again soon. Adios.